Today we are doing a little bit of night fishing. That is to say, we are fishing at night, which means when the sun is down, we're fishing. I tried to feed the dolphins, but I don't think they wanted any food. Let's see if we can use. I tried feeding the dolphin. I don't know how to feed the dolphins. Whoa, did I miss that? That thing went way over my head. So we're trying to get our levels up. And fishing seems to be the fastest way to do it since our mob spawner is not doing the trick. And we are hot off the trails of yesterday's recovery. It's been so let's summarize. It has been a tough week for me. I've been facing a very bad bout of depression that I seem to be recovered from. But this is the shaky part. This is the scary part of depression. It's the part where I feel fine. I feel okay. Things are going good. I feel like my mood has been stabilized. And it's easy to let my guard down. I can let my guard down and that leaves myself open for I'm super sensitive right now. We got another fishing pole. How would we repair that? So I'm still highly sensitive right now. I could say maybe fragile. I'm in a fragile state, mentally and emotionally, even though I feel like I'm doing well. I have to kind of be cautious and be aware because any little thing could trigger a relapse. And we don't want that. So that's why you have to keep pushing forward. Regardless of, man, we're getting a lot of good stuff today. We got an enchanted book, another enchanted, we got a fishing rod. And we're catching a lot of fish. So I really have to be careful. Have to keep pushing forward. That's the thing. Keep pushing forward. And sometimes it is pushing forward. Sometimes we are pushing forward. You do have to. It's a push. It's not as easy as just moving or one step in front of the other. Sometimes it's a push to keep going forward. And that's why sometimes, even when I don't want to, when I don't feel like it, another book, let's see what this one is. Looting, protection, breaking, thorns, respiration, fire. I don't know what that would be for. So even sometimes when I don't feel like it, I have to stream. I have to get on. Oh, it sounds like somebody is here. So we have to move pretty soon. I think fishing might be my new favorite thing. This is fun and relaxing at the same time. It's better than mining. Another fishing pole. Yep, this one is on breaking. This one is lure. Okay. Here comes the sun. Too soon. Too soon. Excuse me. I've been sleeping later too. I've been waking up at 6:30 instead of 5. But I mean, it's good. I'm waking up in the morning. That's a good thing. It's getting better, healthier. And I think it may be time to head back. All right, let's turn around now. What is all that? Oh, those are all the fishes. This is all the stuff that I've caught. How in the world did it end up back here? Okay, come on, let's... Is there anything else I lost? Well, let's check the 3 fishing rods. Unbreaking, mending, curse of vanishing. Unbreaking, lure, and mending. And then we got 4 books and 2 saddles and 3 tags. Not to mention all the fish we caught. Alright, so let's head back to dry land. What is that? there's some kind of castle here. Alright, so there's a drowned there with a trident. So let's leave him alone for now. So yeah, sometimes it's tough getting out of this week. Funny thing is though, just because the week ends doesn't mean that the problems disappear. So the goal is to become more resilient when facing those problems. Some bubbles here. Just wanted to see what that was all about. Let's keep going on. Let's put all this stuff away. And becoming resilient, that's the key. That's the trick. That's the exercise. That's whatever you want to call it. So we're going to make ourselves stronger mentally and emotionally. Let's see if we can give one of these dolphins. Where'd he go? He's right there. Let's see if he comes over here and we can give him one of these salmons. Come on, boy. Little sea doggy. Where is he now? Alright, we may have to try this some other time because I think they're all gone. We got another door-to-door salesman and a boat. Is this where I left my last boat? Got it. Ugh, I'm stuck. What is going on here? Alright, so as I was coming out of my depressive episode, I came across a quote. Because things are looking pretty grim, I'm not gonna lie. I talked about it a little bit yesterday. Finances are getting squeezed, and we're facing some tumultuous times. So and like I said, just because this week is almost over and things look like I feel better. I'm not as stressed or depressed, but that doesn't mean that the problems just disappear. So I'm hoping for a little resilience and to get a little bit stronger mentally and emotionally, because that's where I need to be when we're facing a situation like this. You have to be able to be present in mind and in emotions. You can't lose rationality. You can't think. You have to think clearly. You have to be able to be present, to be here, and not just for myself, but I got to be here for my family as well. I got to be able to navigate what we're going through, and I have to. They're along for the ride, so I have to be sure-footed. So I saw this in a story, and it's kind of rings true because here I am today. So the first sentence was, everything always ends up working out. And I have to agree with that. Everything kind of always ends up working out in the end. And times may be scary. Like I said, right now we're in a phase of extreme uncertainty, and we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how we're going to make it through. But we've been in this position before. So I can say that it tends to work out in the end. And then the next one, usually even better than you can even imagine. So that also I can attest. I can say, yes, things as bad as they get, things will work out in our favor. And things will work out better than even I anticipated or even I dreamed. And this is what happened when we started our business. This is kind of the phases we went through. We were desperate for work. We were praying for work. We were hoping for work, and it didn't look like we were going to get anything, and we just kept trying and we kept trying, and the money was running. It's almost like we were in this exact same situation. And then we landed at 2 very big contracts. And we lived the good life for a nice period of time. We were doing well. Trying to see where we organize all this stuff. And so right now we're in a new phase of an old cycle, just the cycle of feast and famine. Yeah, we need to find a place to put our fish. Let's find it empty. There we go. Fish, salmon. We also found ourselves a bowl. So with the first one, the first line sentence being everything works out, or everything always ends up working out. So yeah, can attest to that. It just sucks when you're in the hard times. It's so real. It was like I was talking yesterday, when you're feeling depressed, that your emotions, they feel real. The way you feel, the downness, the isolation, the fear, the doubt, it feels real in the moment. The nobody loves me, nobody is helping me, I'm doing this all by myself. Those emotions feel real, and even though they feel real doesn't mean that they are real, because that's just your brain kind of inflating what you actually feel, making these things feel bigger and feel heavier. I think we are almost ready. Let's keep putting these foods in here. So we got those 2 sentences really hit me and really struck a chord, and so I kept reading. It was, so everything always ends up working out, usually even better than you could imagine. And then this next one is where it's like, okay, this is exactly where we're at right now. Remember this when you feel like you're in a hard place or you feel like you're being challenged the most. And that's where I'm at. This is where we are at right now. I'm being challenged the most. My wife is handling this with grace and with poise, and she's so strong. She's there for the kids, and she's even been there for me. And the problem isn't her. The problem is me. The problem is that I isolate myself because of my thoughts. I push her away because of how I feel. And she tries, she tries to comfort me, and I'm just inconsolable because I am so deep, deep in this dark place. But I have to remember that things always worked out for us. And then they usually even worked out better. We're probably going to go into a little bit of debt here, and we're going to end up owing the banks. We are going to overdraft. There is no doubt about that. We have a lot of bills coming due, and we have a lot of things that are what do they call it? They're automatic withdrawal. They take them out automatically. They're on automatic auto pay. So when the first week of next month hits, there's going to be a lot of bills that are just sucked out of our bank account, and we're anticipating going negative. And how we pull ourselves out of that, I don't know. We're just gonna have to see. It's gonna be exciting, to say the least. It's gonna be stressful, but it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a wild ride. So let's go look at the hole that we've dug. So I'm kind of glad that I got the depression over with, because I'm gonna need to be present for the next phase that we're about to enter, and it's going to suck. So let's reiterate, everything always ends up working out, usually even better than you can imagine. Remember this when you feel like you're in a hard place or you feel like you're being challenged the most. And this is, like I said, me being challenged the most. But here are the last two things that really kind of spoke to me. And we'll explore this area for sure. Check it out. We got a lot of resources here. And this place is very, very big. So remember when you're being challenged the most, and then here's this next line. Excuse me. Pardon me. I mean, that was my chair. That was my chair. But pardon me because I'm coughing into the microphone. I don't like doing that. Oh, check it out. A blob. A Slimer. Nice. We should probably head down there. But the next line really hits home. Believe in where you're headed. So I have a goal. I have a point in mind that I am trying my hardest to get there. And I have been trying. And that's part of the problem for me, is that I've been trying so hard and making very little progress. In fact, I've moved backwards in my progress. And I should be moving forwards, not backwards. So someone with my mindset, with my mentality, that kind of thing really wreaks havoc on my confidence, my self-esteem, my perception of myself, the value that I put on myself. It really, really hurts and it really damages. And that's what sent me into the depressive spiral. That was like the, oh man. That was the trigger. I wasn't doing as good as I feel like I should be doing. And that really did a number on me. So I've had to, I had to come through the episode. And we got through it. The good news is we got through it, because here we are. We're still alive. We're still trying. We are still pushing forward. So believe in where you're headed. And sometimes you have to believe. Sometimes a little bit of faith is all you need. A little bit of faith, a lot of hope, and a lot of hard work and grinding through the hard times. Let's see, it looks like, oh wait, there's more over there. And then the last line, and this is where I really, really have a hard time, because for some reason I confuse the finger pointing at the moon for the moon, and sometimes I can't see the forest through the trees. I have a very hard time seeing the forest through the trees. Believe in where you're headed. See the big picture. And that's where we're at. I have to sometimes look at the timeline that I'm on. And the problem with me is because I push myself so hard and I expect so much from myself that I don't look at the timeline. I don't look at the big picture. I kind of forget to be like, look, this is where you were, this is where you are, and you have to kind of respect that. You have to really appreciate that you're further now than you were before, but you are nowhere near where you want to be. You're closer, but you still have a long, long way to go. Actually, maybe I don't even have a long way to go. But I have to look at where I've been and where I am now. And I can keep the perspective of where I'm going. And that will kind of help me gauge better to where I am. So I saw that in, I can't, oh man, what is the guy's name? It's like Gabor Martinelli. I think something like that. And I follow him on Instagram, and he posted that in his stories. And it really, really, like, it spoke to me. And so I made that my lock screen on my phone, so that every time I open my phone, or I go to open my phone, that's what I see. There's some more over there. So let's go over that direction. And get that. Right now we're trying to mine as much iron because we've been digging our mine pit, and we have been using a lot of our resources. So we need to replenish what we have. So those are the things that will help me especially keep pushing forward. Ideas like that, thoughts like that, and kind of make us more resilient in the face of depression and in the face of fear and anxiety. Everything always ends up working out, usually even better than you can even imagine. Remember this when you feel like you're in a hard place, or you feel like you're being challenged the most, and that's where we're at right now. Believe in where you're headed. See the bigger picture. Oh, don't look at the guy, don't look at the guy. So it's Thursday today. One more day. We are trying our best. We are gonna get through it, and we are gonna be better for it. I think the other thing too that I need to really accept in my life is that I will have bouts of depression. That is a give me. That's just something I have to accept, and I have a hard time accepting that because I don't want to. I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to have to face these things. But unfortunately, I'm predisposed to it. I guess it runs in the family. And I think the more I try to fight it, the harder it is for me to get through it because I can't accept it. I can't accept the way I feel. I have a hard time doing that. But if I just accept it, just be like, look, sometimes you're going to get depressed, and that's okay. And when you're depressed, you shut down everything, do what you need to do to get back on track, rest, relax. I think that's the perfect regimen for it. And I think my inability to accept that is what's hurting me more. Let's go check out our wheat field and see how it's doing. And see, that's another problem I have. I have a hard time accepting heavy emotions. Okay, so it's not quite there yet. We've got plenty of melons, and the pumpkins are starting to do good. But this is like what the gurus talk about when you have to be in the emotion. You have to just flow through it. And I think that's where I have a problem, is flowing through it. And like I said, accepting that I'm going to feel this way sometimes. Oh, let's check out the crucible, how that's going. So we're building a crucible over here. We're going to fill this up with more trees in like a maze-like pattern, and then hopefully get even more mobs spawned in here than our little mob spawner over there. And that thing, because sometimes that for days we'll have nothing, and then in here I'm hoping we'll have more since it's outside, and when the night hits we can just go in there and mow down skeletons, zombies, creepers, and whatnot, and get our numbers up. But I think that'll do it for today. We caught a lot of stuff fishing. We were able to go into the mine. We got our level to 19. And we even discussed a little bit about trying to build resilience after dealing with depression. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it was fun and entertaining too. You know, I don't want to always talk about depression, but I think it's important that we talk about things like this because everybody faces it. And you know, we have to be there for each other. We have to be there for for everyone. And I know personally that even for my family, it's hard for them to be there for me. They try to, but it's because I isolate and shut myself down so much, it gets hard for them. And sometimes I just got to push through it. Sleep really helps. But with that, all that said, of course, always remember that I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate everybody that comes here and hangs out with us for the time that we're together. That viewer in the back that's always there, always watching, always supporting, making that 0 into a 1. Thank you so much for that. Everybody else that stopped by, thank you. And of course, always remember, neurons that fire together, wire together. And I will see you next time. Laters.